Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, and thanks so much for tuning in today. I'm Asia Gore. Our top story this half hour: one day after celebrating the passage of a major Republican tax reform plan, Congress now has less than 48 hours to stop a looming government shutdown. CBS's Mola Lengi has the story.
Lawmakers are saying fears of a government shutdown are overblown.
Do you feel confident that the government's going to stay open?
Yes, I do.
But Congress has until midnight tomorrow to pass a new spending bill or government doors will be closed. The latest proposal would keep the government running until January 19th. It would also include funding for the Children's Health Insurance Program through March 31st and extend the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. Conservative Republicans say that's not good enough.
There's a coalition between defense hawks and Freedom Caucus people who believe that we need to make sure we give our military what they need and deserve.
Democrats are taking a stand, saying they will not vote for any spending bill that does not include legal status to the so-called Dreamers, people who were brought to the U.S. illegally as children.
You have needed our votes on almost every fiscal issue that has passed this House. So I would urge you to include an amendment which says that those dreamers will no longer be twisting in the wind.
But Republican leaders doused those hopes this morning.
It will not be done in this bill.
Which means they need to reach a deal with the conservatives.
I don't see a shutdown scenario. I do see that there's still work to get to 218 votes with Republicans only.
And the clock toward a shutdown keeps ticking. Mola Lengi, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
GOP leaders are unlikely to schedule a vote on the House floor until they're confident they have the votes needed to pass the bill. We turn now to the weather scene with Ed McIntosh, where lots of parts of the state are seeing hefty amounts of snow.
That's right, and more on the way, more cold along with it as well. Even as we get past this initial wave, more of that weather starting to move across the region. And you can see nationally, as we start looking into the end of this year and early next year, trending colder across almost all of the nation except for the southwest. So we could be looking at across Montana, Wyoming, 50 to 80% odds of colder than average temperatures. That doesn't tell us how cold it'll be, just that there's a pretty good chance it'll trend colder and wetter. That means more snow potential into the end of the year, with the exception of perhaps extreme western Montana. Take a closer look at the short-term details coming up.
Thanks, Ed. We'll take a closer look. And meanwhile, authorities in Butte suspect exposure to the cold weather is a factor in the death of a woman whose body was found Wednesday morning. The 34-year-old Butte woman went missing Tuesday night. She was last seen alive at a home off of Little Basin Creek Road. Her body was discovered just over a nearby ridge. Police suspect she succumbed to hypothermia. Her name has not been released. The investigation is ongoing. And a Butte woman is now identified as the victim of a deadly shooting in Spokane, Washington. Spokane police say 59-year-old Danette D. Kane was killed Tuesday. A male victim is in critical condition after he was shot in the head. Kane's family says she owned the Westview Manor apartments where she was killed. She was supposed to be on the road to Montana the night of her death, but decided to stay another day. Police released this sketch of a person of interest described only as an African-American person between the ages of 25 and 35. The killer is still at large. The Bozeman man accused of stabbing his father to death last month denies his involvement. Tanner Franks pleaded not guilty Wednesday in Gallatin County Justice Court to the charge of deliberate homicide. Police believe Franks fatally stabbed his father, Bill Franks, in November. The victim's wife said she and the two men were in the kitchen at home when Tanner Franks became upset and stabbed his father in the chest. The woman said her son then fled the scene. Bond is set at $1 million. A federal judge has declared a mistrial in the case against a group of Nevada cattle ranchers and their supporter from Montana who engaged law enforcement in a standoff back in 2014. The judge ruled Wednesday that prosecutors improperly withheld evidence from defense attorneys for Cliven Bundy, his sons Ryan and Ammon, and their supporter Ryan Payne. Payne is an Anaconda, Montana native. Two earlier trials against other defendants in this case ended in hung juries. The armed standoff in Oregon developed over a dispute with the government over grazing rights. The judge will rule in January on whether prosecutors can retry the case. A Central Billings home destroyed in an overnight fire after flames ripped through the roof. The blaze at 815 Miles Avenue caused $200,000 in damage. When firefighters arrived on scene around 1 a.m., the home was fully engulfed. Fire officials say the home was occupied, but no one was injured. Police say at the moment there's no criminal investigation. The bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Great Falls Billings answering to claims that the church underreported its assets for a settlement with victims of sexual assault. Attorneys for the 86 victims abused by Eastern Montana priests as early as the 1950s contend up to $70 million of church assets should be included as part of the bankruptcy estate. Those assets include 14 parishes within the diocese. The diocese, though, maintains the parishes are held in trust by the diocese and are therefore exempt. Attorney Jim Stang, who represents the 86 victims, says his goal is to reach a settlement with the diocese. Stang tells MTN News, under Montana law, the parishes do not exist on their own, and those assets should be available to creditors. But that issue will ultimately be decided by the federal bankruptcy court. Bishop Michael Warfel says the church wants to address the hurt of the victims, but he says the diocese will challenge these latest claims. The bishop says only 22 of the 86 victims' claims are covered by insurance, and he points out all the legal action in the case eats away at more assets, leaving less available for the victims. An official response from the church is due in court on January 18th. The city of Havre will no longer allow medical marijuana dispensaries within city limits. That decision made Monday during a second vote of the city council. That's where they approved a new city code that states no operations that violate federal or state law shall operate within city limits, effectively banning dispensaries in town. Now, the decision was split among council members, leaving Mayor Tim Solomon to make the deciding vote. The ordinance will take effect in 30 days. Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks is proposing a Sage Creek Special Chronic Wasting Disease hunt north of Chester early next year. This after a harvested mule deer buck tested positive for CWD in the area this past fall. FWP is proposing the sale of 300 Deer B licenses in an effort to harvest 135 mule deer in Hunting District 401. Now, the hunt would begin January 6th and last through February 15th. FWP says the hunt is an important part of future CWD management. FWP will hold a conference call today to make a final decision on this hunt. The first CWD hunt is currently underway south of Laurel, where hunters submitted more than 100 deer for testing in the first weekend alone. Those test results are due back in a couple of weeks. Straight ahead on the noon news, a vehicle slams into pedestrians in Australia. We'll bring you the latest on the investigation. But first, Ed has our weather forecast. Stay tuned.
You're watching